When we speak of the best villains to be ever portrayed on the magic box, a lot of names come to our mind. Darth Vader, Landa, Hannibal Lectar, the Joker, and many more names. The list of well-written villains can go into the hundreds if not thousands. But what truly makes them a good reincarnation of evil? By what standards and by what values you find them to be effective in their role? In the past century, we witnessed villains going through an evolution. From entirely evil and entirely driven by the destruction and for the destruction, we saw that if there is a small dose of virtue and righteousness within them, they prove to be much more effective. If their motivation has a somewhat logical explanation behind it, it's much easier for the audience to tap into their own dark matter and try to resonate with the villains. Well, that proved to have some negative side effects on the society as well, but today we are not here to talk about that. The root of evil and the devil as we know today goes back to the Abrahamic religions. Lucifer is the embodiment of whatever is considered to be against the will of God and moral principles, but he is not a total resemblance of destruction. According to Abrahamic religions, Lucifer is not simply creating the human tendency to sin, he has his own motivations. He's either motivated by his own arrogance and pride to prove God wrong, or he's simply trying to show his father or creator that humanity is doomed to fail and fall into traps of their own desire to sin. So naturally, as literature progressed, we have seen less and less of total embodiments and resemblance of evil within modern villains. Instead, they gave their place to anti-heroes and villains with reasonable motivations. There is another effective format. For instance, in The Lord of the Rings, in a sense Morgoth is pure evil and Lucifer of their world, while Sauron has much more human traits and motivations behind him. And in the case of The Witcher 3, in the main story we have a singular villain that has many human traits. He's an elven king seeking power to save his own world from destruction. Yes, he is merciless and he's a blood-seeking, backstabbing, cold-hearted villain. But still there are far more worse characters in the world of Witcher. Some of them might be nothing but a petty thief, a grave robber or a simple mercenary. But if we put emphasis on being evil, there are many more evil characters inside the world of Witcher. And the only difference is the amount of powers each of these individuals have. A petty thief that is ready to kill an old couple and a kid for a small bag of coins is far more evil than Eredin will ever be. But what happens when you write a story that has a strong anti-hero like Vladimir von Everick, a hero as imperfectly perfect as Geralt, and a villain as mysterious and as powerful, and at the same time as unbothered and law-abiding as Gaunter? So we can say the perfect mixture is the three-sided stories. The existence of an anti-hero that might redeem themselves in the process, alongside a vicious villain and a hero, gives their difference a contrast that wouldn't be as enjoyable as a simple hero versus villain story. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why Gaunter might be the best villain ever portrayed.
There anyone here who speaks common?
There's this mercenary with him. Looks Edirnian to me. He's the one recruited me to show him through the sewers.
Greetings, Geralt. Remember me? Gaunter, known also as Master Mirror. I could try to extract you from here, you know. Because you do wish to disembark, do you not?
Yeah, sure. But what on earth could you?
Oh, more than you'd ever expect. I shall help you, Geralt. But before I do, I must know your return favor. It's about a man, worse than most. A vulgar, despicable man with a heart of stone. His name is Olgierd von Everick.
What's he guilty of?
What the fuck's it to you? Not your concern, mate.
Tell you what's gonna happen now. I'll ask again, polite like, and you'll answer just as politely.
And if I don't?
Then I'll get angry, stop talking, and slaughter you all like swine. So what'll it be?
Oh, what the bloody hell's this? Geralt, have you decided to play defender of the downtrodden?
More like gutter of sons of bitches.
Long as I'm here, you'll gut no one.
That a challenge?
Why not? I've not fought a Witcher before. Defeat me and I shall let him go. Stand aside. Well struck, Witcher. You win.
Oi, weighty looks. Use the look of a man who knows how to drink.
Thanks. Some other time.
Hey now, don't make me beg. My treat.
That was the last time you interrupted me while I was talking to someone.
There are records of encounters dating back thousands of years in many cultures under many names, but always as evil incarnate. In this land we call him Gaunter O'Dim, at times Master Mirror or the Man of Glass.
What do you want?
What do you mean, what? Your soul.
You forget. The pact states you can take it only once you fulfill 3 wishes
And we stand together on the moon.
What? No. We had a pact. The moon is there. There! Not here.
I gave you what you wished for. Here, on the moon, our contract you fulfilled.
Awesome. You cheated me.
I never cheat. It is done.
Ah!
Your soul belongs to me.
During the gameplay of Hearts of Stone, after Geralt accepts to be the proxy of Gaunter O'Dim in fulfilling Olgierd 1 Everic's pact, we can see Gaunter O'Dim many times in the background. He seems to be everywhere at once. Now it might not be entirely true because he seems to be somewhat limited in his presence. But since he can teleport around and manipulate time, it's safe to say he has the ability to be present at multiple locations, whether directly or indirectly. So in a way, if he can pause time and indirectly fix a scenario involving some other people and then go somewhere else, we can argue that he does have some elements of omnipresence. It seems like Gaunter is really invested in his knowledge and fascination with human interpersonal relationships. A part of what makes him a good manipulator is the fact that he has a lot of knowledge on the way humans feel and function.
To cause you to kill a man who might have been cured. Had I not intervened, you would have lost your head for this. Do you know why he did it? Because he's a degenerate monster in human flesh who feeds on the pain and suffering of others.
Well, you clearly don't like him.
Perhaps thousands of years of deceiving and hearing people's wishes taught him a thing or two about human greed and weaknesses. Or perhaps he just enjoys playing with his victims and causing suffering and pain. This part of him reminds me of Charles Manson. The way he brainwashes his victims, manipulates them into submission, and almost never acts directly. The same way Manson manipulated and brainwashed a bunch of kids into murdering people. In the final stages of Hearts of Stone DLC, we learn that Olgierd sacrificed his own brother, and in return he would get his fortune restored, have his love back, and be immortal. Gaunter never acts directly. Olgierd signs a pact with words. The next day his brother dies in battle. Right before ending of the game, there is an optional quest. You get to meet a professor that researched the existence of Gaunter O'Dim for decades. One day Gaunter shows up to his doorstep, tells him that he appreciates the professor taking a liking to his existence, and tells him that he will be safe inside the circle that it draws for him. As long as he stays inside that circle, he won't die. Now I personally thought for many years that Gaunter actually liked this guy, and the fact that if you know anything about Gaunter it brings you death and misfortune has nothing to do with Gaunter himself. And maybe just a force of nature trying to take out the ones who actually know about the devil's nature or something. Well, that was the case until I found this writing after Professor accidentally leaves the circle and dies right in front of you. The Professor couldn't leave that circle for many years, and after a point he starts to experience these vivid dreams, or more like visions. In his dreams he has a baby daughter. He has a happy life. He expresses his fascination, and the feeling of love he experiences in his dreams are nothing like reality. He never married, he never had a child. But in his dreams, he feels like it's been years of connection. He thinks Gaunter actually liked him, and in a way he's trying to keep him sane and happy inside that circle. Until one day, that kid gets sick in his dreams and eventually dies. Gaunter made up those visions for him, only to take it away, and this shows how pure evil and malicious he really is. The other aspect that is different in case of Gaunter O'Dim versus other portraits of the devil and the demons of Crossroads is the fact that he almost never gives you what you want. He offers you a contract that he will follow it up to the letter. Olgierd asked for immortality, but that immortality robbed him of his emotions, his sense of taste, and essentially rendered his world colorless. The love of his life became a trapped soul between the worlds and the embodiment of sadness. His brother died the death of a coward to fulfill his wishes. Even when Gaunter saves Geralt from the prison cell, he could do it in many more conventional ways, but instead he created a storm that broke the ship. So in a way, Gaunter only cares about the sole price of the contract. He doesn't care if the other party is satisfied. Olgierd's contract would be fulfilled and his soul claimed by Gaunter O'Dim. If Gaunter would fulfill 3 wishes of him by proxy and they would stand together on the moon, the contract would be over. Now Geralt has done those 3 wishes as a proxy, but Gaunter pulls another trick and invites Olgierd to a temple, and they stand together on a portrait of the moon. Now if you talk to the professor, which was an optional quest, you get to offer your own soul instead of Olgierd's and play a game versus Gaunter in order to save Olgierd. Professor said Gaunter only cares about one thing, human souls. But challenge him to a game or contest and he cannot refuse.
But if I win, you release us both.
What do you propose we play? Gwent?
Don't know. Maybe we can bet on a challenge. You know I'm good at accomplishing the impossible. Seen me do it.
Very well. But we shall do this my way.
So Gaunter teleports you to a world he made and reads you a riddle, and now you have to find where he is hiding. But it's a devil we are talking about, there's always a catch. So along the path he uses any kind of distraction, different kind of monsters, to throw you away from reaching him. And on top of that he sets an hourglass of time for you to finish the puzzle before it runs out.
Gotcha. Be gone. You've lost.
What makes Gaunter truly the evil incarnate is the fact that he is not brutal. His mysterious existence is more of a horrifying nature than terror. The fact that he can stop the time and kill someone just with a spoon, but he doesn't do it, makes it even more horrifying. It's safe to say that Gaunter O'Dim has no control over the world of the dead, so the fan-favorite theory that Gaunter O'Dim is somehow the god is just wrong in my opinion. Gaunter doesn't simply destroy or kill because he knows they will eventually find peace. That's why he sets them up for pain and suffering. He thrives on the suffering of the souls he get to deal with, not their death. And when you connect the clues together, you realize everything that Geralt did was according to his plan. For example, on the ship, we get to know that the guy that Offrey's used to get to the sewers was actually hired by Gaunter O'Dim. The only thing that went against his plan was Geralt offering his own soul for Olgierd's. On the other hand, his somewhat law-abiding, soft nature that he shows to people before sealing their pacts and his knowledge about the human psyche are all part of the collective package that makes this villain the best villain ever portrayed in a video game. So overall, a mixture of malicious intent, a mysterious identity, his underutilized superpowers, and his pragmatic approach to his pacts and their written content makes Gaunter O'Dim perhaps one of the best villains in the entire history of literature. But what truly makes him the best as far as visualized stories go is the fact that The Witcher 3 is not simply a movie or a linear game. It offers an experience as rich and as detailed as the most comprehensive books, and the visuals and interaction level that no other movie or TV show can really offer. Hopefully we get to see Gaunter O'Dim in a way or another in the next Witcher games. This is Gorilla, thanks for watching, and seeing you.